Hello, hello, hello. Yes, let's go here and go live there. Okay. That works. That works. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Everybody loves Raymond 360 Live. Tom Caltabiano here. Getting a lot of messages from Raymond writers that are, let's see what they're chatting about. Let me see this. Let's. Okay. Yes. Okay, so that's Tom editing because I'm watching a little text exchange between your friend Raymond and Phil Rosenthal. And other Raymond writers. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Everybody's Raymond 360 Live. Tom Caltabiano here on a Sunday. Let's talk about all things Everybody Loves Raymond every single Sunday for the past, how many years? 5 years. 5 years. That is a lot of time. That is a lot of time. Let me share some. Let me say hello, as they say, shout outs, I believe they call it, to the people, to all of our friends who are joining us, checking all of my levels. I just love visiting on every Sunday. We clear up so many. Now, here's what I've noticed. I'm going to start off right off the bat before I say hi to everybody. We're up to almost 64,000 followers, and the videos really get a big response. The thing that I've noticed is there's a lot of new followers, so there's a lot of questions. So I'm asking all of the people that have been following me for a long time, who know everything about everything because you've been watching me for 5 years, to bear with the people who have not been here before. So when they say, hey, the laugh track, do you know, when does the laugh track get put into the show? When does, how do they fit all the cameras in that house? Stuff like that. I'm not making fun of them. It's a normal question. Unless you work on a show, how would you know how the show is done? You really wouldn't. Here, I'm looking for this. What am I looking for on this desk? Someday, I'm going to show you people the fancy schmancy studio where I am. Here, I'm cleaning this thing off. Where do I have my phone? Yeah, I think I have my phone. How would you know? How would you know the answer to all of these things? You really wouldn't. You really wouldn't at all. I certainly didn't know how a show was filmed before I worked on one. So I really appreciate it when people jump in and answer the question. So I keep reposting stuff that I've posted in the past, and I visited the exterior of the Barone household, Frank and Marie's and Ray and Deborah's, because there's some confusion by people, appropriately so, of like, I don't understand how everything works, meaning you shoot an exterior shot of the houses, which are in Merrick, Long Island. The interior of the house is completely fabricated on a soundstage in Los Angeles. So you cut from the exterior, establishing shot, they call it, to the interior, and you smash cut, as they say, right to the interior, which is on a soundstage for the last 8 years of the series at Warner Brothers Studios, Burbank, California, stage number 5. And so people seem to also get confused about the Italy episodes. The Italy episodes, the majority of the Italy episode, all the exteriors were filmed on the trip that the cast did in August of season 5. So what would that be? Season 1 is 96, 97 is... watch how you count, folks. 96 is season 1, 97 is season 2, 98 is season 3, 99 is season 4. So 2000, August of 2000, July, August of 2000, somewhere in there, and I just found a T-shirt. So I was cleaning out an area that doesn't contain Everybody's Raymond stuff, but it did. So I found a giant bin with the T-shirts, Many of the gifts that were given to us, including a gift that Lou Schneider, one of the Raymond writers, who some of you have pointed out is Snaps on the Christmas Picture episode, which a lot of people like to discuss. He got us all a T-shirt that said Lou Schneider got to go to Italy, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt, and it has the date on it. I think I took a picture of it. Let me find my phone, which I had. This is the problem. I lose my phone about 6 times a day. And I will take that card anytime and record this. And when I say a card, I mean a sound card that I have to format. Okay, so how can I find that quickly? We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. But when people go, wait a minute, I thought they went to Italy. They did go to Italy. But it's all about costs when you're making a show. So it's much, much less expensive, believe it or not, just like with the golf course episode. It's believe it or not, that SD card is, okay. I record, by the way, everybody, I record this because we have so many big plans. So it's much less expensive, just like with the golf course episode where people are like, I can't believe you built an entire golf course on the soundstage. Wouldn't it make more sense to just go to a golf course? Yes, in some ways, but no, because you have to transport the entire cast and crew. You lose a day because you're on location, and then you can't shoot anything else. And so the problem is you lose a full day. Whereas if we shoot it on the soundstage, like the Italy episode, Interiors, we just show the video that was shot in Italy. It's all edited together. Mark Sweet, the warm-up comedian, goes, hey, everybody, look at your screens. And so you watch the screen and you watch playback of Italy on the screen above your head. And then you cut to, there they are in the interior of the kitchen in Italy. And they are seamless, completely seamless, because Sharon Bussey, Donna Stamps, these are the people that put together the interior sets. So you would never know it. But I don't want people to get mad and think that we rip them off and are lying. So, okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's say hello to some people. Haven't said hello to anybody yet because I rolled right into that. So, sorry. And the summary is, since there's maybe 30,000, think about that, folks. That's like a small stadium worth of new followers who are like, who is this guy, Tom? I do see a lot of that. Who's posting these pictures? Okay, let me scroll back. Hello, Bob. Aloha. Bob, I don't know if there's an award, but you are the first one to come up on my StreamYard feed. Okay, let me take a drink. Here we go. Let's see how our autofocus is doing. Yes, our autofocus is doing well. Let me see. Do we need another card? Mm-hmm. Another card. Okay. So here, hold on one second, folks. I'm just doing this. Either one of those copied over would be awesome. All right. Aloha. For those of you, Bob is in Hawaii, which probably not snowing there is my safe guess. Let's bring some of these up. Hello, Thomas Gerard. Hello, Janet. From Marshfield, Massachusetts. Where is Marshfield, Massachusetts? Is that near Boston or more towards the No, what is it? What is the School of Music out there? Nobody knows. The School of Music. Okay. The Berkshires? Is that it? Hello, Annabelle. Hello, Suzanne. Fox, have you been here before, Suzanne? I don't really know. Hello, West Hartford, Connecticut. Marla, yes, West Hartford, Connecticut. Hi, Graham Whittle. Always good questions. Here, someone asked how my hair is doing today. I think I just made it worse. Yes, significantly worse. Hold on, everybody. There we go. Okay. That is, you just witnessed my hair stylist, which is also similar to my hand. Graham Whittle. Hi, Graham from UK here. Can I ask a question about the filming schedules? When you have also, can I just stop in the middle of this question? I was trying to be super efficient yesterday, and I had to bring my laptop to download photos. So I brought my laptop to download photos, and my hard drive must have been inside the like sitting on the keyboard, and somehow the lid, the top of the laptop, got closed, and either from me throwing it or something. I didn't really throw it, but I tossed it. Anyway, so I'm looking at a screen with a whole bunch of vertical lines, so I have to get my screen fixed, which is really sad. And then not that long ago, I have my, clearly folks who follow me know how much I love taking photos. And so I had my brand new used, because for those of you that don't know, I do a children's nonprofit educational Muppet type series. It's on PBS, and we do live things to schoolrooms, which, you know, when you see private jets, you don't go, I bet you that's puppet money. That's got to be a guy who has a puppet. No, usually that is not the case. And so I have a great used Nikon, the D850. And here's what happened. I placed it on top of a cooler, a soft cooler, and it was fine. And then in the morning when I woke up, I go, that's weird. Where is my camera? Oh, there's the straps. It had fallen into 4 inches of water. And so that I picked up the camera, and almost like in a cartoon, I took the lens out and water came pouring out of the body of that camera. And so I have to get that fixed. I have to get my laptop fixed. 2 of the things that I use all the time. And the camera, the significance is I have still about 27,000 negatives that I haven't scanned yet. And that camera has very high resolution. And so I was ready to get going, and now I have to go to Nikon and get it fixed. Okay, back to Graham. I bring it up, Graham, because your print is blocked by vertical lines of the broken screen. Why don't I take a screen grab? I'll take a screen grab. I'll share it with you guys. There you go. Hi, Graham from UK. Can I ask a question about the filming schedules when you have a large set other than the Barone lounge and kitchen? Interesting, Graham, from the UK. In America, you would never call it a lounge. You would call it the living room. Do you call the living room the lounge? I'm not making fun of you. I'm just pointing out that even though we stole your language, we deviate every once in a while. For example, a golf course or supermarket. How do you film that? Is it done on a completely different day when the other set is taken down? Graham, another thoughtful and outstanding question. So the answer is no. They make, let's go back to the beginning. When you're writing a story, I'll take that card anytime also. I just want to copy, we're just recording. When we're writing a story, you have to consider the cost also. So when you're writing down the story, don't sit there. You're in the writer's room, so you know that you have within limits. So you don't go, Deborah's in the car, then Deborah's at the airport, then Deborah's this, and then Deborah. So way back, you have to consider that. And we used to make fun of it, calling telethinking, excellent telethinking, where you're trying to save money and tell the story. So emotionally, you're just looking at each scene, and really, it doesn't matter if the emotional, you're looking at the emotion of the scene. That's important, and what happens in the scene. And the setting, clearly we did almost everything in, as Graham would say, the lounge and the kitchen. And so the lounge and the kitchen, and Frank and Marie's living room, I guess, that would be an interesting test to see what episodes took place in the house only, which I think is a lot of episodes. So now you go, okay, you're writing the script and you give the outline to Phil, and Phil would go, hey, I noticed you have an airport, you have a baseball stadium, you have it would never even get that far because you know what you can and can't do. So when you submit the episode, let's say Fun with Deborah with the golf course, Lisa Helfrich Jackson would come in and go, okay, Phil, I'm looking at the script. And I notice, is it possible? Hear me out. And her job is not to say, this can't be done, Phil. Her job is to go, look, I can do this. If you want to crash a car through the house, I can do this. It's going to cost this much. and it's going to take this much, etc. So then it's really the job of Sharon Bussey, who's the art director, to kind of figure out, okay, here's my floor plan. I'm looking at it from above. How can I fit this entire thing on the set? The goal is always to have everything play out in front of the live audience because you get the laughter from there. So going back to Fun with Deborah, that Fun with Deborah took place. They made the golf course where Frank and Marie's kitchen and living room would usually be. And so where that usually is when you're sitting in the bleachers, which holds 200 people to the left. That lived to the left of the bleachers. So people could see that. And then the golf course itself was in front. So very, very seldom, there's cases like Bully on the Bus where Ray has to be on a bus. That's shot in an exterior, that's shot practically, we call it, in a real set. In a real set somewhere else. Then you play back. So you play that back for the live audience. So the goal is to always have it play like a play in front of the audience because you can't not show the audience because then they'll have no clue what it is. They'll be like, hey, I don't know what happened here. It just doesn't work. It works in a movie. In a movie, you might have the big dramatic romantic love scene at the end, and that's filmed the first day. And then you film the middle of the movie, and then et cetera. So that is the answer to your question. You figure it out, and you also know that you are of certain constraints. So a show like Seinfeld, which might have 40 scenes, they're all over the map. And when I saw 2 filmings of Seinfeld, they would sometimes act it out, meaning George and Jerry are walking down a Manhattan street. Well, when you're watching it live, if they haven't shot it yet, it's literally Jerry Seinfeld and Jason Alexander walking on stage with a microphone, and you're just watching them walking on stage. And so the warm-up guy might say, hey, in this next scene, Jason, George, and Jerry, played by Jerry, are going to be walking right in front of you. Just imagine they're on a New York City street. So that's how it works. That's how they figure it all out. And it's logistics because it's all has to be planned to see for the live audience to see it because you get the laughs. You have to have the investment. That's why when people hear the laughs and they're like, that's a laugh track, which we know we never use the laugh track. And just to clarify, the show didn't have a laugh track. Is there a final mix where they raise what is in the audience or lower more often than not because you can't hear the dialogue because the laughter is so loud? Yes, there's a final sound mix, but the perception of people is canned laughter, meaning there's no studio audience. Ray enters and then they crank a knob and say laugh hysterically. So that's what some people think happens, but that does not happen. Hello, Amanda from the eastern shore of Maryland, but no, not Baltimore. So do you get a pushback? By the way, that's how you can tell, Amanda, when you see someone's Facebook page and they say, what do they say? I'm a cat lover and I'll admit it to anybody. So please don't give me any pushback and you go, oh, wow, this person has had to defend that they love cats a lot. Okay. Hello. Hi, Deb Tucker from Phillipsburg in New Jersey. Do you think the show would be successful if it was made today? Excellent question. There's the reason I'm pausing is there is no show that is made today that's doing another 200 episodes of anything, right? Ted Lasso did 35, right? They're doing more now. I don't know. It's such a hard question because there's economics involved also. So in the heyday of Everett Raymond, you're getting 20 million viewers every week. 20 million viewers. I think the finale got 39 million, close to 40 million people. Think about that. And now a hit show, I think, has 3 million viewers. So if Everett Raymond got 3 million viewers, they would be canceled the next day. Like the president of the network would not be able to save that show. So I don't know. What's happening is interesting because I see from all of your comments that people are longing to have a show like Everybody Loves Raymond with clean comedy, relatable characters, family-friendly stuff. And I don't know. You guys can tell me, is there anything like that out there now? I I don't really know. I don't really know at all. Excellent question, and we'll never know. Hi, Bob. Did the Italy crew have any idea or knowledge of ELR? Oh, excellent. Wonder if they were scared of David Praval. Oh, that's funny. Yes. So David Praval was in The Sopranos. That's what Bob is referring to in The Sopranos, and he played a very scary character. So that would be a good question for Phil, Ray, Lou, anybody who was there. I would be surprised if they knew Every Brothers Raymond in Italy at that point. Friends, I think, was in syndication. Trying to think. Because here's the thing. Here's the assumption. And you guys know this. The assumption is that people are watching an American sitcom that's in reruns or broadcast again. Now, Friends has been long enough on that people are watching everything. Sorry, I'm getting all these texts from, yes. Hold on one second. Let me see. I'm live now. Yes, I will get into it on the phone. I will. Here, this is, folks, you're watching live. This is live. Okay. Here we go. So I never assumed that anybody even in America has seen the show. And now, because off of Deb's question, because the audience is so fragmented, and now because of the phone and because people are watching 17-minute clips, 17-second clips rather. The best traction is 17-second clips. And so if you told me that in 2004 while working on Every Brothers Raymond, like, Tom, can you write something entertaining, should grab people, should be wholesome, it should be relatable, and you have 17 seconds to do it. It doesn't even make sense, but that is what people do. That's what people consume, myself included. Like, I'll watch a clip, I'll go, oh, wow, there's Orson Welles, who you have to explain to everybody who it is. There's him talking about this great moment with Winston Churchill. All right. That's awesome. That's an awesome, awesome. So I don't know. Remind me, Bob, next time Lou Schneider, Phil Rosenthal, Ray Romano visits here, Patty, Brad, any of those. But I wouldn't. Hi, Janet. Berklee College of Music is in Boston. Marshfield is from south of Boston on the East Coast, just north of Plymouth, not down to the Cape. Excellent. I love Janet. I love geography. So then where are the Berkshires? Are they in New York? Does anybody know? Are they in upstate New York? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Yes, Lynn Van Orden, oh my gosh, that sucks. Now, you're not talking about the Berklee School of Music. You're talking about my computer screen breaking, my phone, my beloved camera getting soaked in 5 inches of cooler water. I'll keep you guys posted, because that's always, things going well is never interesting to people. Things going poorly for other people, that is why Everybody Loves Raymond existed. So let me give you the latest update, and then I'll go back to all these questions. So the Long Island, is it the Long Island Museum and Entertainment Hall of Fame, I think is the official title, in Stony Brook, New York, will be taking and making their own Raymond exhibit using some of what was at Paley, the Paley Museum in New York, Paley Center for Media. Is that it? For Media Studies. Then they will be putting it up. Now, I think that they will be putting it up in, let's see, November. Okay, hold on. Let me just here we go. I'm simultaneously recording this. Let's put this card in. It must be an old card. Let me see. So let me format this, everybody. So what I'm doing, let me talk you through this process. I'm formatting an SD card, as they call it. So there we go. Okay, formatting. And now I can record it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Here we go. In our fancy schmancy studio. Let me see, that's a little bit, this is here, and then this is here, and then that's here. That's way great. Thank you. And that's way out of frame. Just FYI, in a good way. Okay, so let's go. Where? So much to do. Let's just bring up Deb. Let's bring up. I can always count on you, Tom. On the episodes of ELR, the credits show up with the writers as yourself as executive producer. What new responsibility did the promotion have? Was there a transaction from staff writer to producer? Yeah. So I was a co-executive. So, okay. So as you're watching, this is a confusing topic. Deb, I'm glad you brought it up. So as you're watching the show, you're going, oh, that's a producer, that's a co-producer, that's a supervising producer, that's a story editor, staff writer does not get credit. Then there's, so it's all, there's salaries are broken down. It's all about money for the most part. Having said that, if you're a story editor, chances are you're, here, let me go back even bigger picture. When you're writing, you're basically just writing. Phil Rosenthal was the executive producer, head writer, showrunner is the term. So he had all the responsibility for the creative, and Ray Romano had all the responsibility for the creative. The writers, it was really about money. So if you were more experienced and started, and I was not, because I was exceptionally young. I was in junior high when the show started. That is not true, everybody, for who's taking it seriously. But I was not experienced. Neither was a guy named Ray Romano experienced on TV. Ray Romano had he worked 2 days on a show and was fired after the table read, and that was news radio. So Ray had one real day of experience, and then he got fired. So we wrote the season 1 finale, Why Are We Here?, where they end up moving into that place. And so if you have a lot of experience, you start, it all goes back to money. It's the agents going, Phil doesn't care. Phil just wants really good writing staff, funny people. So Tucker Cawley, I think, started as a staff writer. He had never written before. Tucker Cawley, a brilliant writer. So as he got promoted, it was, there's levels I think in the Writers Guild of staff writer. You don't get mentioned. So season 1, I was a nothing. I had a phony baloney credit, and I was only there because Ray wanted me on the show. And then I was a staff writer season 2. So when I wrote the episode with Ray, Kevin James, and myself called Golf, okay, because we have an episode called Golf for It, which I also did with Tucker Cawley and Mike Royce. That year, I did not get paid for, if I wrote 20 scripts, I got paid 0 extra money for those scripts because I was a staff writer. So it's just economics. So as you've seen those titles go up, it's literally just more money within reason. So if you're a story editor, when at every promotion I got, all I did was write. There was no different responsibility. Having said that, when I think I did a show that was canceled right away, not to do with me. I was only a consultant 3 days a week. You're starting, after 9 years of working on a show, you're hopefully better as a writer. So you would start off with a higher title. So you're expected to be a little bit more experienced. So I hope that explains it to some degree, because there's also the Producers Guild, there's the Directors Guild, and then there's the Writers Guild. So I know that Ray, when he got that crazy high salary at the end, they split it between producer pay and writer's pay and actor's pay and whatever. So it didn't matter. When he went to the bank, he had a big bucket of cash, whether that was officially said as a producer, as a writer, as a this or this. So there you go. And Ray only really cared about the quality of the show. So just like, if you've read that Seinfeld was offered $5 million per episode. $5 million, folks, per episode. That's a lot of money, and he turned it down because I think he was burnt out. And eventually, once you have, how much could you guys survive on? 300, 400, 500, would 600 million in the bank let you sleep well at night? Name your number. How about for most of us, a savings of above, a few $1,000s, in the, and no credit card debt. That would be nice to have. So there is a point where with certain people, I know certain people, it's not about the money, it's about more. Okay, we are way into economics, which is very boring to most people. Just like when we did the checkbook episode, which was based on a Ray Romano real life story of him faking a passbook savings, Phil Rosenthal's like, money is boring, so this better be funny. Okay, so let's take a breath here. Let me take another drink. Must be a cappuccino that I'm drinking. Here we go. Let's check that fast focus. Okay, nice. I tried being nice. Didn't care for it. Frankline. Oh, delicious. Delicious. Okay. Leo. Okay, let me go to Instagram. I neglect Instagram, folks, and I think I've shared with you. The reason I neglect Instagram is because it doesn't come in my feed. I have to look at a separate screen. At my Instagram. So let me see. Let me scroll down. Hi, beautiful sourdough bread today, Tom. Hello, Joe. My sourdough bread. Let me think now. Did I post a picture? I do so many different things. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you. For those of you who don't know, I've been baking sourdough bread every day since 2007. 2007. And I know a lot of people, which makes me happy because I share it with people. I don't know why my voice cracked there. But when COVID hit, a lot of people are like, Tom, did you start during COVID? I did not. I did help a lot of people, but I get great joy baking it. And I think, wait, I'm going to check on my Instagram because, some things also get auto-scheduled. So that's why a lot of people are like, Tom, I notice you're in Tokyo today, and also you're doing your live. How did you get back so quickly? And so usually I don't post. Okay, there we go. Here you go. Here you go. There we go. Let's see if let's check. This is more for the focus of the camera. There you go. Yes, that loaf I baked this morning. Let's see how close this camera. Wow, this is super impressive. So there you go. Do you want me to do a bread making video? I did it with my friend Denny, who is a accomplished Leica sponsored photographer. I don't know. Can I say that? Is he officially sponsored? He brought me into the world of Leica. I can't afford one, but I did see a lot of them. Okay, let's see. Great hairstyle today. Lee from Down Under. I'm going to take that compliment. Okay. Hi. Would you like to go on a date with me? I can't. Well, also, let me see. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Here we go. Hello from Sydney, Australia. You're a big fan of the show. I love it. I know that Everose Raymond is very big Down Under. Philip has been there. Phil Rosenthal has been there for his food show. And I would love to get there. I know it's at least a 4-hour flight from Los Angeles, hopefully not more. Let's see. Tanglewood is in the Berkshires, Massachusetts. Now, I'm going to give a big thank you to MFC Knits. So you like to knit? Is that what I'm going to say? Tanglewood in the Berkshires, Massachusetts. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Thank you for that. Okay, scrolling down to see if we have any questions. Hello, Albania. Wait a minute. Is Albania across the... what is the sea that used to be... Well, it's still there. It used to be Yugoslavia. Is that where Albania is? It close to Italy? Am I making that up? Anybody? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Cheshire, UK. Hello, Albania. How do you watch the show? How do you watch the show in Albania? How are things in Albania nowadays? Joining late from Alpharetta, Georgia. Hi, Alpharetta, Georgia. Where is that in Georgia? Raymond and I did a road tour from Miami, Florida to Atlanta, Georgia, and we drove the entire way. And we loved stopping at Cracker Barrel, which I know has entered the news, at least here. I don't know if it went international. Hi, Leo from Toronto. Just saw a Three's Company table read in memory of John Ritter, and it was fantastic. Made me watch the ELR table read again. So funny. Yes, the table read from ELR was put on by Lorraine Boyle, who was raising money for the multiple myeloma organization to help cure that, rid that, help people survive from that blood cancer, which Peter Boyle died from. Tom, in the off season, actors and writers did not get paid. You are correct. You only got paid for the days you were there. But, you know, it's interesting because you made a good living, and on Raymond, because of Phil, in a good way, Phil would make sure we wrote a script in the off season. So, but yes, you did not get paid for the actors were done the end of March and they showed up August 1st. So they had all this time off. That's why Peter Boyle could do a movie and Ray Romano could do a movie. I don't know if Patty did. Did Patty do any movies? You guys would know maybe more than me. Okay, hold on here. I'm gonna take another sip. I need more. I'm gonna start getting more guests. Okay, there we go. You're an idiot, okay. That tea. Where did that tea box go? Oh, I see. Here it is. Good Earth, sweet and spicy. This sounds like that's what I'm drinking, folks. Look at that camera work. Caffeine-free, flavored herbal tea. California since 1990. Can't even read that. 1972. One tea bag. That is a lot of writing that I just read. It is tasty. And no caffeine. So, okay, let's go back. So, we're catching up on Instagram. That's what we're doing. Does Madeline Sweeten have a P.O. box at all? I do not know. I'm sure she has a manager maybe or something. How's Patricia Heaton and how's Brad Garrett doing these days? Pretty good. I just saw Brad at the Emmys. Was he at the Emmys? Yes. He has a comedy club in the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. He performs there occasionally, periodically, frequently. Somewhere is a word. I don't know his exact schedule. But Brad Garrett is very good. And Patty is very good also. When did I see her? I saw her at the Paley Media Center thingamajiggy. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep going here. The question, okay, now back to this. Wow, look at all these. So, folks, when I started 5 years ago, I was sharing pictures, and I'm gonna share this with you now. I'm going to go back to questions, don't worry. And I would always try and have some subject to talk about. And also, of course, for those of you that are new, we do try something out of the canister. And then we play, and this is very good, we try and guess an episode from the wardrobe photos, which is not very, let's see, okay, so I like to open and show people, but I'm not going to do that yet. Okay, here we are on the time, looking at yes. Okay, let me do this, folks. I'm adjusting. Oh, there's a fork and spoon magnet. Hold on, everybody. Do not panic, as I like to say. I have to reach across, and then this, and I get this. So this reminds me. Here is our tested on my refrigerator for a year before we greenlit it. The fork and spoon magnet patterned 100% after the actual wallpaper and the fork and spoon. And there you go. The grease stain behind. You can find it on our shop. That's not what I wanted to show you, though. It's a very nice magnet. So here's what I found. I'll share a picture with you. So here, I'm going to start sharing this. This is a stack of photos that I found. Let's see, this is going to be tough because my head is in there. See, the camera tries to focus on a human being. There, that's a big stack of photos of our friend. Okay, here we go. Let me do this. Our friends here, let me get two of these. I'm going to call this my daily Steve, and I'm going to start posting this. So Steve Messias is Oh, see, I'm covering his face. Steve Messias is right there. And there's Patricia Heaton and Doris Roberts and Catherine Hellman behind. Here's another one. This is a better shot. I should have shown this to begin with. Okay. So there is Steve Messias, who looks like Fonzie. Yes, I know. He knows it as well, and he has met Henry Winkler. Before the show ended, I printed out an entire stack to give to Steve, and I was giving it to him in 2005 when the show ended. I did a nice gesture. Steve is a delightfully nice human being, and so I said, I will surprise Steve, and I will give him all of these photos. But remember, I talked earlier, for those of you that were listening earlier, that I found a bunch of stuff while cleaning out my garage area. And included was the envelope that said, for Steve, in a manila envelope, for Steve. I'm going to get it to him right away in 2005, folks, 2005. I never got it to him, but I found these. So I'm going to post them daily, the Daily Steve, and see if you guys can guess the episode. But there is Steve Messias. And now you know, for those of you who watched, I'm going to have to explain this all because a lot of people don't watch, but I can play that clip. But there you go. There's Steve. There we see Nemo's. Sue Varon is there. Manfrolotti, Johnny, and Robert. Okay, so that's a really unique perspective on the show, is to see what episode is Steve holding that from which, I don't know, proper English, we'll see. Okay, the reunion TV special. I still don't know much. I know it's more than likely happening now. And I'll find out. I don't know if there's a studio audience. And if there is a studio audience, I don't know how big the studio audience is. I know a lot of you have asked about it. So I guess it's going to be really small and really tough to get the seats. I have zero say in people going to the show or if the show happens at all. But I will keep you posted right here. But chances are, the scuttlebutt I hear is that it would be a clip show. So all the angry comments I see on other pages about, you cannot do a reunion. And I say, okay, then you don't have to watch. It would be a reunion of Phil Rosenthal, the cast, reminiscing about the show, showing clips honoring Peter Boyle and Doris Roberts, and just doing kind of what I do, only with a budget of money. All right. So let me go back here. Let's go back to some questions here. I hope that satisfies your thing. I know it will be filmed in Los Angeles. So that I 100% know. If it happens, it would be filmed in Los Angeles. Sorry, everybody who live in other places. Okay, let me look at my cracked. It's not cracked. It's just my screen just has giant vertical lines. Okay. Hi, Maureen. Why has TV Land stopped airing ELR as of last evening? Is that true? I don't know. That would be terrible if it was. Let's somebody find out. Okay, let me scroll up. Wow, so many great questions. Okay. The Berkshire area is, yes, Western Massachusetts near the New York border. Thank you. The Berkshires is exactly what I was looking for. I appreciate it. We need something new and fresh, but I feel the age of the sitcom is over. Too many people upset by everything. Yes, jokes are... So, I know you guys love Everett Raymond, so I don't have to explain it to you. But the whole idea of Archie Bunker was to show characters' flaws and air their flaws. So when everything is nice and perfect and everybody is holding hands and getting along, which, never happens in real life, just pointing that out. But when that happens, it makes for a very boring show. So when people are like, Deborah screams too much, well, she's beyond frustrated by Marie. So that's why she screams. Deborah's a bad wife. Is she? Is she a bad wife? I don't know. Is Raymond a bad husband? I don't know. What are you measuring these things by? So off of that comment, people are offended by everything. Yes, you do get notes. If you try and mitigate and soften stuff, it's less funny. So if you made Frank, very understanding, really compassionate, and not giving a speech to Deborah and saying, that suitcase is filled with dirty clothes and it's all womanly now, meaning it's your job to do laundry. If you had him go, it's unfair that women have to do laundry, or there's assumptions that are made about the duties that you have at home when you do so much work. Do you want to watch that? Or do you want to watch Frank say, it's all womanly now, and watch Deborah go off? Okay, so yes, it could be very tough because people are very, very easily offended. And also just the economics aren't there often to support a show. Okay. Yes, you are all quoting machines. Are there any episode storylines that you or any of the writers wish you could have written differently? That's a very, here, let me bring that up. That is a good question. There's a couple times when I watch a show and I go, oh, I feel like we could have done better on that tag. The tag is the end of the show, like that joke or something. And I'm like, it just doesn't land. And what you have with time passage is you're seeing this in a neutral way. And so you're thinking of what else would be funny, et cetera, there, or what doesn't. And the most important thing is, does it feel organic and feel like it really could have happened or should have happened that way? Like that's kind of the more the thing than, oh, that stinks. The one thing I know Phil mentioned that we are in the writer's room is that when Robert in the surprise party, which a lot of people don't like the surprise party, or elements of it, when Robert blows the surprise, or says that she knows or whatever, like I remember after it aired, Phil was saying that I think fans are disappointed because we feel like Robert is just this really good, guy who would never want to do that. Sorry, I'm reading through. That's the silence is not. I'm trying to let me just position this so I can read it past my camera. ELR, best show ever. We make the joke that the reason I became a police officer was because of Raymond and the lucky suit we laugh at because that is something we joke my mom would be doing during my interview. Ashton M. K. Interesting, nice, relatable. TV Land, Eros Raymond on every night. So we have differing news. Whoops. Let me scroll that. That just made that bigger. And now, wait, okay, go back to comments. Oh, I didn't even know that was an option. Event log. Yes, so let us know if it is not on. Back to Facebook comments. What else? Let me show. I'm going to do this. This is like a palette cleanser. I love all of these pictures. So it did get a little wet, these photos, and they're kind of stuck together. So I have to. So these, I'm holding one corner there. And these are all stuck together. So I have to forensically separate them. So here we go. There is Steve with a different look. There. I think the reason I like these aren't the main... It pains me, but... Here's the sound of a picture. This is painful. Oh. Oh, this is actually one that you've probably seen. That is, there's Steve Messias, Ray's wife, and Ray's brother, Robert, real life brother, Robert, back there. Let's see how good this works. Yeah, there's in back is Ray's wife is it a polka dot dress or small flowers? And Robert, the school teacher, not the policeman. Okay. So let's go back to some of these here. Okay. Let's see this. Hi, Lynn. Okay, Lynn, what do you want to say? Whoops. Up and down. Oh, the darn producer name. My son is a producer. The names are about money. Yes. It's amazing how many producers it does take to do a reality show. So your son works in reality shows. I'm sharing that for the whole audience. Imagine not set one take. It's a lot. Yes. So again, for those of you that are coming in late, we were talking about the different roles, different titles, etc. Because there are non-writing producers on a sitcom. It's all about the money. So as I used to say, to people, if this person didn't show up that week on the show, what would happen? So if you're the line producer, if you're the line producer, which does all of the non-creative hiring, and that sounds like a judgment, but it's like all the cameramen, all this, all the budgeting, all of this stuff, you would be in trouble if you're a non-writing producer. So if Phil Rosenthal didn't show up one day, that would have been very, 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 very exceptionally bad for the show. There are other producers who, if they didn't show up, you wouldn't really notice because their job is not the day-to-day. Okay, so hi, Karen. Annabelle answered one of the questions. The set was taken down to create the golf course. Yes, that's right. And just so you know, Frank and Marie's set was always taken down. It's called a swing set. Swing sets go up and down very quickly, and they go another way. Hi, Deb. What was a typical day in the writer's room? What did brainstorming sessions look like? It looked like this. Kind of. All right, that's a wise guy answer. And how did you break down stories? Yes, sourdough looks great. I saw it on Instagram. Good. Excellent. Thank you. So a typical day in the writer's room. So what would happen is you would, during the year, you have a certain process, meaning while the show is going, you would have an episode that you watched a run through, and then you would go back and do a rewrite, which is tweaking of that current week's script. And earlier in the season, like I said, Phil was a slave driver, and he would force us to write over the season, which made our lives much easier in the long run. You would think of the story. So you would have to go, hi, Phil, here's my story. My father accused me of ruining his jazz records. What could that story be? And then you figure out that story, and then you write that episode yourself. And then you go in the writer's room and you go over after you finish a 2-page outline, which says, here's what happens in each scene, which is the hardest part, grueling part because it has to all work. And on other shows, not on Ever Was Raymond, they would throw out episodes, whole episodes. And that never happened on Raymond because Phil made sure that all the stories worked beforehand. Would you constantly tweak language, etc.? Yes, because a script is a living, breathing thing, but you don't throw out an entire script, which would happen on other shows, and that's a ripple good effect of the actors living with the material, etc. So when you're just writing a script, you come up with the idea, you write it, and then you're in the writer's room. If you're going, hey, we're going over Tom's script today, okay, and that might take all day, or it might take 2 days, or it might take half a day. It depends on the script. During the season, you would watch the script, you would watch the run through, and then you'd go back and tweak anything that needed changes. So maybe that would be 2 hours of like anything on page 1, anything on page 2. Yes, I feel like we could do a better joke here. I feel like we could shorten here. Let's say that takes 2 hours and you're done. Now, you're done with that rewrite and you send it down to the stage, and Phil goes, okay, we're now going over Lou Schneider's script. Okay, where were we? Page 6. And now we're all sitting in our chairs and we're going over Lou Schneider's script for the rest of the day. And then the next morning we show up, and 10 a.m. Phil would make the announcement, say, hey, can you call the writers? And then writers to the writer's room, writers to the writer's room. And then we would sit in that room, which I'm sad to report has been torn down. That building, this historical building at Warner Brothers, has been torn down. It was the home of Chuck Jones, who did the Looney Tunes. And when we first moved in there, season 3 of Raymond, there was a Bugs Bunny rabbit hole in front. So, which is sad, but at least we have the season 1. No, that was torn down also recently, but season 2, that was torn down a long time ago. None of the writers' rooms where Ever Was Raymond writers worked are still in existence. That is the kind of respect we demanded in the industry. Commanded, I would say. Hi, it's me, Blue Cat. I used cats as an example. Who likes cats out there? I really enjoy the company of cats. Okay, have you considered getting together in some of the original ELR writers and creating a new show together? You are all so talented. That is very nice of you. So Phil has tried many times to do many shows, and with the original Raymond writers, and the industry has said, no, thank you. There's the door. Goodbye. That is very true, unfortunately. So, It's a very tough state of the industry now. And also, as you get to be the disgusting age of over 40, Hollywood doesn't like you as much. I know it's really sad. And I remember seeing the guys that created, did they create Cheers and Taxi? The Charles brothers. And they gave a speech at a Writers Guild reunion, not Writers Guild, a Writers Guild award. And they, the Charles brothers, were so unbelievably hysterical on stage. And I was like, oh, I would like to hear more from these folks. But perhaps Hollywood would like to not hear from them. So I know for those of you who are over 40, it's tough to hear. But Hollywood at the moment doesn't really know what they want exactly. But and I'm not. It's a tough time. It's a tough time for the industry. Nobody knows how it's going to fall out. So yes, the answer is yes. Phil pitched a spinoff immediately after Raymond, and the network said no, thank you. So it's a little bit of a head scratcher and very disappointing. Hi, Gen 9. I wish they would. I can't be the only one that prefers sitcom over binge streaming a drama. Yeah, it is a unique art form, the sitcom, because you never watch your same movie 20 times a year, but you do watch the same sitcom every day. Okay, here we go. I have to taste my cookie. I have to start my spreadsheet. Do I have it started for the cookies? I don't know. I think I do. Okay, let me scroll and let me see back to here. Time flies so quickly. How is it this time already? Okay, a few last things. Hi, Karen Kraft Giacalone, but that's your husband's name, so you're Italian by marriage. Hello, North Carolina. Did one of the writers ever discover their divorced parents having sex and think they were getting back together? Just saw that one and was wondering. Deborah's parents. Yes, I don't believe so. I'm trying to remember who wrote that episode. Deborah's parents. Let me know, guys, who wrote that episode. But I don't believe so. Hi, Kathy. Did Peter have a tough time filming while he was sick? It was getting harder for Peter towards the end. That's why you'll notice that the Frank is often sitting down, comes in and sits down right away once it was clear that he was somewhat frail. Hi, Mona. Let me see. Where is Mona? Hi. Will that reunion be televised? Yes. The reunion special of Everybody Loves Raymond, probably 30-year reunion special. It actually premiered September 13th, 1996. So it's 29 years since it premiered. That, I believe, will be televised potentially on CBS or Paramount Plus. So for those in the UK, I don't know what that means for you. My mom calls Hollywood weirdo. Hi, Brucey. It's kind of like a different world than a lot of America. It would suck to age there, I think, but fun to be young. Yes. A lot in that comment. Yes, it's a very different. Well, what often happens is, and this you saw from the Roseanne show early on, and Grace Under Fire, the flyover states, as they call it, the Midwest and the South, get neglected very much from Hollywood because all the decisions are made on the coast, Los Angeles and New York, and they don't necessarily represent the normal existence that we all have, which is why The Office, I think, really resonates, because most people don't have super exciting, unbelievable jobs, but they do have jobs where they have to work with people in cubicles. And so that's why a show like Seinfeld, Everybody Loves Raymond, did not become number one right away, whereas I think you guys can look it up. I think Roseanne, the Roseanne show, originally, I think it became number one within like a few weeks of its premiere, because it was finally something for, I think Jeff Foxworthy said, like 50 miles outside of any big city, and you are in the sticks, and that can apply to Manhattan. Let's see. Deborah's parents. Hi, Thomas Gerard, per AI. By the way, AI has done a lot of accuracy and a lot of inaccuracy regarding Everett Raymond. I've noticed that. The writers for Everett Raymond episode, Deborah's parents, were Philip. Okay, so Leslie Cavaney wrote that episode. Yeah, it just says Phil and Ray because the it just comes up that way because they're the EPs. I noticed that on every script. Yes, thank you, Donnell. Yes, so I can't remember if that happened to her, but it's a great thing, you know. So just know that when they say Philip and Raymond in every single credit, that's why. Let's see. Were there any bloopers or improv moments that ended up making the final cut? Yes. Hi, Deb. Yeah, not really bloopers. I know Ray slipped in one thing, and I know we've talked about it a lot here. But yes, for the most part, everything was completely scripted. Okay, so I'm shaking my head. Here we go. Let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Well, these are. All right. Let me not get. So here we go. Taking out of the canister some different. Okay, is Lee still watching from down under? Murray River Salted Caramel. Folks, I know you know the chocolate and the dark chocolate and the other Tim Tam. Tim Tam is a very favorite thing. For those of you that are going, why is Tom, who is a writer on Raymond, holding up a Tim Tam when I want to hear about the show? We had a cookie test in the Raymond writer's room because the beloved writer, Jeremy Stevens, said that Hydrox were better than Oreos. So Phil said, that's a good reason for us to eat cookies. So we did a cookie test. So there you go. For those who don't know, those of you that are in New Jersey right now, Tim Tams are a product of Australia. Australia is at least 100 miles from the United States. Okay, I think I'm probably going to need a napkin and a bib. Okay, so here we go. Again, never gets old. My impression of the person sitting behind you in a theater. Here we go. Okay. Tim Tam. Oh, wow. This looks... Okay, let's see. The Tim Tam from Australia. Here we go. Far away from the mic. Okay, so it's a milk chocolate outside. This is going to be messy. And let's see this. Okay, good. Okay, ready, folks? You know, Phil, where's Phil's cup? I don't have it. I don't need it. It's, but he says, life is short, eat with your mouth full. I think, is that what it says? So here we go. Okay, folks. Murray River Salted Caramel. For my Australian fans, is Murray River a famous river down there? Because Murray just sounds like a name, you know, Leo's River, Murray's River, the Murray River. I'm sure there's a backstory, and I'm sure people from Australia are going, slapping their head, going, I can't believe how ignorant these Americans are. It's really astounding. But never be astounded by our ignorance. Okay, Bob. Oh, yes. Yes, to attend the clip show. Yes, it's going to be a tough one. I really have a feeling because I think it's going to be on a small stage. Okay, this is really, really phenomenal. Wow. Unbelievably good. Fantastic. I taste the salted caramel. I'm not tasting the Murray as much as I thought. Wow, this is really, really good. Sorry, folks. I'm going to give this like a 7.9. That's really high. Such an interesting flavor combination. There you go. The Tim Tam. Did I give it a 7.9 just now? The Tim Tam, and this is the funniest part, the Murray River Salted Caramel. What is the significance? Made with irresistible milk chocolate. Okay, I'm going to have to eat a salad. Arnaud's Tim Tam. There is no substitute. There you go, folks. Remember, always avoid the ingredients We're here for that pleasure. Okay, let's guess this script here. Let me write this. Really, really good. I don't know if you can get it in the U.S. I believe my friend brought it back. There you go. The lid. And for those of you that ask, yes, this is Rhonda. I think designed it, drew it, and then had it made. It is very heavy steel. How can you tell it's steel? Because magnets stick to it. Okay? There you go. The beloved canister. Okay, let's do this quickly because, wow, look at the time. Always the time. Okay. So, for those of you that don't know, these are the wardrobe scripts. This is later in the series, I can tell you, because it's in a binder. We could finally afford binders, I guess, as the show went on. Okay, so this, you'll never guess the episode from this. If you guys do, you should be the official historian. Okay, let's stop that from swinging. Is that Phil behind? I can't really see. But that is Raymond in the first scene of this wardrobe Polaroid episode. Let me scroll this. Oh, there's a picture of me. There is a picture of me. You don't see that often. That is my camera. And my camera in my hand, Raymond, and that is Phil. That looks like Phil, and I'm standing next to Ray with khaki pants. Okay, and Ray is looking at his script. So maybe I just annoyed him with a potential funny line. Okay, here we go. Wow, it's funny because some of them are more contrasty. There's Patty looking not happy. She's sitting in front of Peter. And again, wardrobe department's job is to get the photo and not annoy anybody and get out quickly. So sometimes the actors have time to smile, and sometimes they don't even know a picture is being taken because the wardrobe person will say flashing because the flash goes off, and the actor might go, oh, where is that? And the reason they say flashing is because the lighting crew, the gaffer, if they see a flash, they look up and go, did we just lose a light over the kitchen sink? So that's why you had to yell flashing. Okay, there we go. It's not streaking, which is different. Ah, Doris Roberts. Can anybody guess from just Doris Roberts? No, I'm guessing no. Let me check the comments. Is anybody willing to try and guess? Donnell, one of our most knowledgeable fans. Is this Tasteless Frank from Donnell? Okay, let's see this one. That one's going away. Yes. Target sells Tim Tams, Maureen. Yes. Can you get the Murray River salt? What tea you're drinking? I'm having some mint tea from Fortnum and Mason's. It's lovely. Yes. Sorry, Donnell, you missed it. I'm drinking this, but I'll do this for you. The Good Earth, sweet and spicy, original, caffeine-free with this. Okay. Karen says, I am terrible at this, but before then, she wrote this. Interesting. So this tells a lot about human psychology. Karen has guessed it correctly, and then immediately after says, I'm terrible at this. Self-doubt. It's very funny. Congratulations, Karen. So yes, you're guessing it by the way Patty is sitting on the couch. So now this is one that you can't go too far because if you go too far in the episode pages, so if I had gone one more photo, you guys would have instantly guessed it. So there you go. And let's see. Here you go. This would have given it away. Brad Garrett sitting in the backyard, which was on Soundstage 5, talking to Madeline Sweeten, talking to Allie. Okay, let's keep going here. Yeah, so there you couldn't go too far. And then, of course, once we're here, we know there is Jeff Garlin, who is on Curb Your Enthusiasm, which had just started. And there we go. There is the supermarket that we built on the set of Raymond. That was on the set of Raymond, yes. That was to the left of the, let me think where that was, because the most exciting thing was, even though we were getting paid, everybody was excited to be able to take as much as they want when the show wrapped, when we finished that shoot. And there's Madeline Sweeten, Grandpa Steele's in the backyard. Yes, the fall, the thing breaking was planned. People ask that. Okay, let's see, final comments, everybody. Frank gave the trailer, love when Ray knocked all the oranges down. The one with the Goldberg guy who worked at the supermarket. Yes, I love how we have to assemble these clues because we don't know the official name. When did you first start in stand-up comedy? Can you tell us a little bit about that? It's me, Blue Cat. I can't. How about next time? But yes, I met Raymond doing stand-up comedy at the original Improv years and years ago. But I will save that story for another time because we're way having too much fun, and that is not allowed nowadays to have too much fun. Leo, we have a Tim Tam dark chocolate here in Toronto. Yes, that seems to be the most common thing. Hi, Meredith Abrams. Rose Raymond is much better than Roseanne. Yeah, Roseanne, I've never seen an episode of Roseanne, but I do know that Roseanne kept firing all the writers. I heard that firsthand. It's common knowledge. And, Phil had, I think there were 7 writers that were there from the beginning to the end. So that's why the show has a lot. Let me get rid of Karen, poor Karen. I'm terrible at this. We can't have that comment living all this time. So that's tough. When you're firing the writers and don't have any consistency, you really need to have that consistency. Yes. Hi, Mona. Okay. Thank you. All of these comments. So that's, again, I never saw Roseanne, so I can't comment to it, but I think it probably, if you don't have a consistent writer's room and you have a leader like a Phil Rosenthal or other good showrunners, you have inconsistency. That's why Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld together as a team, it's very hard to write a show. You really need a team of people who can help you. So write it. So that's why I think Roseanne might have suffered, because she's obviously very talented, etc. So I will sorry, I'm reading. Do I bring up some of these comments? Hi, it'd be great to see a sitcom with Ray and Brad and Kelsey Grammer, David Hyde Pierce as the neighbors. Yes. So that, I'm going to close this off by saying I did post a thing of like, what other sitcom would you like to see visiting the Barones? Them walking into the living room. And I wasn't expecting such an overwhelming response to that. And also as a follow-up, I posted with Patricia Heaton saying thank you to Linda Lavin. And so when I posted that original clip, I left out her name. And for those that were asking, when you look at that clip, Patty's on the couch and there's workers around. And so they don't know that Patty's, they just know we're not filming the show. There's a 10-minute break. So that's why you see in the one clip, Patty's like, hold the work, please, because she's just trying to record this recording. We didn't, when you record the actual show, when you're filming the show, which this was during a filming night of a Christmas episode, it goes on a bell, it's called. So you hear the first AD, Randy Sewer, going, put us on a bell, please. And you'll hear, very loud bell, everybody on the set. There is no gray area. Everybody goes, uh-oh, stop eating, stop doing anything, and we're going to say action very shortly. So when Patty was like, hey, Tom, can you record this for me, Linda Lavin, birthday greeting, we're just sitting on the couch, and I'm yelling action as loud as I can because people were working. And obviously they couldn't hear me because Patty had to go, hold the work, please. And then she said, happy birthday, Linda Lavin, a little speech, a little gratitude. And then I'll post it. There's a clip where I turn the camera to the audience and the 200 people go, happy birthday, Linda. So there you go. That fills in some of the what was going on there. All right, everybody, great guesses. Karen Jack, fantastic guests early on. Kudos to you. Too bad you doubted yourself, because you would have won the $1 million prize had we had any prize money. All right, have a good week, everybody. Thank you for writing all of your comments. I will see you next week. Have fun.